Hi, welcome to Games Night.
Welcome.
I'm joined by Mark.
Thank you for joining me, King Spaceboats. We've just had a very brief tutorial, and now you're going to destroy me at this very popular...
Yeah, we're here to play Star Wars Armada, my favourite tabletop game. It's Spaceboats.
And not just your favourite game, Ben. Do make it point out that you are European champion of this game.
I am. You might have seen a video on this channel a few months back where I played at the national tournament and came third. Well, since then, I played at the European tournament and came first. Spaceboat King, EU.
Yep, Spaceboat King.
And soon, well, very soon after this video goes out, I'll be going to America to play in the World Championship. Fingers crossed for that.
Fingers crossed for that.
But for now, we're going to play a full-fledged game, and we're going to try to explain what we're doing as we're going along. But if things don't make sense, or you want a very detailed explanation of how the rules work, you can head over to Mark's channel.
Tabletop Weekly, you can go check that out. Me and Ben kindly showed me the game. This is going to be my first full game, but we did like a tutorial game. We went over all the basic kind of like the turn order, how all the different commands work and everything else. Lovingly put together by Tom Hazel, I guess. And hopefully that should have a really good in-depth explanation. So you can go and check that out. There's loads of other board gaming content and stuff on there as well. And now we're going to play a full-on game.
Do it. So I'm going to get the Honeydew out. We're going to do a little fleet overview.
Yes, let's do that, and we'll talk through each force.
I mean, these are all my ships. Mark's using my Rebel Fleet.
What are you talking about, Ben? These are all my wonderfully hand-painted ships. Yeah, so I'm using Ben's stuff. So let's go, we'll start down here. So you may remember this fella from A New Hope and Rogue One. This is the Corvette, the old Diplo barge.
CR-90.
Yep. We then have a Nebula frigate. So this long boy.
Yeah, the Nebulon B.
Yep, who will win in a fight, in Galactic Empire, or one long boy.
One long boy.
And then we've got some troop transports, which aren't particularly very good ships, but they can do other things. They can boost and support
like
others.
Support transports.
Yep. And then we have the longest boy, the fat boy.
Sometimes we call it the Space Pickle.
The Space Pickle, yeah. It's and this is actually being Admiral. This has got my Admiral on it, who is Admiral Akbar.
That's our trap.
That's our trap. So we're going to be doing that.
So that's an MC-80. Which one is it? The Command Cruiser.
It's the Command Cruiser, yes.
Which is like a Mon Calamari ship.
I've also just realised that none of my shields are set on this, but I can do that later. I'll do that later.
Then you've got 3 squadrons of X-Wings.
X-Wings, just base X-Wings.
No introduction required on those.
Yeah, no characters or anything. And then we've got 3 squadrons of Y-Wings, the bombers. Again, no characters here. And then I've got one little Hawk. So this is the Mouldy Crow for Kyle-Katarn, but it's not. It's the, what's it called? The Hawk 290.
Yeah, it's a little freighter that is been pressed into service by the rebellion to support their fighters.
And then we have good old Mr. Han Solo himself, soon to be in an upcoming Solo movie, which I've heard they've had a lot of problems with.
The troubled production.
The troubled production of the Han Solo movie.
This is original trilogy Han Solo.
Old school OG Han Solo. And yeah, so I've played just a little introduction game. We used the Corvette and the Nebulon, and then some squadrons of X-Wings. So I've got a little bit of practice with them, and then the rest of the stuff is going to be pretty new. But I've got a good understanding of how it all will work. Okay,
so here we've got the mighty Imperial Fleet, the iconic Imperial class Star Destroyer. It's super badass. It's got Grand Moff Tarkin as the fleet's admiral. It's also got Vader ready to board and destroy.
Oh god, yeah, he's so scary.
Rogue One styley. I'm looking forward to getting that in. I've not used. He's a new card that only just came out.
Oh really? That's
boarding
a brand new
Vader, because you can have him as your admiral, or you can have him as a fighter pilot, or you can have him as a boarding trooper. So we're going for boarding trooper Vader today to Rogue One you up. We've got the smaller Victory class Star Destroyer here, the teeny Raider Corvette, which you might recognise from Battlefield 2.
Yes, yes, it's the Corvus. I think it's also been in Rebels as well. I think they're one of the interdictors or something like that. So
this is a short-range, small ship that's very good at shooting fighters. It's got anti-fighter missiles. And lastly, we've got the Gazonti transports, which are a lot like your transports, but these actually have guns.
Yeah, it's kind of the Imperial way.
They're like mini carriers. They carry like TIE fighters underneath. And then here we've got the swarm of TIEs. They're all generic TIEs, apart from the one in the middle, this one. This is Hal Runner. Like Wing Commander Hal Runner.
Yeah, where's she from? Is she from the games? Or?
I don't remember. She's been in all the games I've ever played, but I think there was like a novel or a comic or something.
Yeah.
And then we've got a small wing of TIE bombers, which you might recognise from Empire Strikes Back. They tried to bomb Han Solo out of the asteroid. They're good at killing ships. Wow. They're better than TIE fighters at killing ships.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the fleets we got today. So
we have a loving battlefield of some sort of curtain that we've salvaged from somewhere. There was a star background somewhere, wasn't there?
I couldn't find it. We have one, but it's missing. So we're making do with with this.
With a crinkly space.
A crinkle space, yeah. Well, that's how you travel quickly, right? You fold space.
You fold space.
Hopefully, we can get you can see our list. I'll put a link to the lists in the description.
That's a good idea,
if you want to see the detailed upgrades and army lists.
Different upgrades and things like that. And we're playing a 400-point game, right?
400
so this
points.
Is a full 400 points game.
Which is like the standard amount you would play.
Standard.
Yeah. And maybe we can get some overlays where you can see the upgrade cards we're taking and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So the first thing you do is, in a game of Armada, is you determine who's going to be first player. This is determined by whoever has spent the least of their 400 points gets to choose to be first or second. In this matchup, I've made it so that the Imperial Fleet is slightly cheaper than the Rebel Fleet by about 4 points. I'm going to choose to go first.
Okay.
Because going first gives me a big advantage in the battle. But to compensate for that, second player everyone selects 3 missions, 3 scenarios that go with their fleet that they are good at. And so I have the advantage of being first player. You have the advantage of I have to select from the missions you've chosen that are good for your fleet.
And when we say I've chosen, we mean Ben's chosen for me, because I don't know what I'm doing, but it will work out.
It will work out.
You've done it in my favour. I trust you, Ben.
What I've done here
You're a fair
is
gamer.
I've made 2 fairly balanced fleets.
Yes.
They're not optimised.
No.
They would not do well at a tournament. Do not say, European champion Ben told me to take this fleet.
Take this list, and therefore I'd win.
You're going to lose. Yeah. They're just fun lists with nothing too complicated and loads of stuff you will recognise from the films.
Yes. Like, specifically, that's like, you were saying, like, the reason that it has, like, Akbar and Darth Vader and Moff Tarkin, because it is, you will know who they are, as opposed to Admiral Bibatati II from
you remember
the
that guy in the
universe?
background? He was in Hoth and he said that one line.
Yeah. He's a really good Admiral in the game, actually. He's got this really good ability.
Yeah, none of that.
No.
Just cool stuff.
Yeah. So you have to pick one of the scenarios.
Yeah, so the 3 scenarios that benefit your fleet, I can choose from are either advanced gunnery, which will make, we both pick a ship, that ship gets much better at shooting.
Yes.
Gets to shoot twice.
Yep.
With
From the same zone.
From the same zone, which you normally can't do, but is also worth double victory points if you kill it. So that's great for you because your big space pickle, the Mon Calamari cruiser, has got a huge broadside firepower.
Yes, and Akbar makes that even better. So with that as well, that would make it very strong.
deadly ship.
But I imagine you could also do that with the Imperial Star Destroyer because that front arc is basically a death cannon.
Yeah, the front arc of the Star Destroyer is very strong.
That pointy tip on the Star Destroyer.
I think that's why they're shaped like this because
it points to where it's going to kill.
All their guns are across the top here.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Like guns all over, and they can all swivel, mount their turrets.
But oddly, none of them can ever hit the Millennium Falcon or an X-Wing. Yeah, it's too tiny, teeny tiny.
They didn't think about teeny tiny things when they built Star Destroyers. So that's a high risk, high reward for me, the advanced gunnery. Benefits both of us, but benefits you more. Because my Star Destroyer, I've chosen the short range Star Destroyer, whereas you've got the long range Mon Calamari cruiser. The other option I can choose is Contested Outpost, where we have a King of the Hill kind of scenario, and whoever holds the space station in the middle gets points every turn.
Okay, so it's every turn you rack up
Yeah,
the
there's 20 points every turn, so there's a total of 120 victory points to be gained just for controlling the station. Or the third one, it's called Intel Sweep, where there's important data, plans to some kind of installation, maybe.
Some sort of weapon.
And we fly around and we pick them up, and whoever grabs the most gets the points.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm going to go for Contested Outpost.
Yeah,
because I think that'll be
sounds fun as well. Yeah,
we'll have a big fight in the middle.
Do you have a marker for a space station?
I do. We've got this.
Oh, look at that.
You see that
we actually have like a cool piece. I can get the...
Bam, it's a space station. I do want to get some lovely 3D terrain at some point.
Yes.
But I have not got around to it yet.
I've seen some good floating asteroids that use like the old Warhammer jet bike sort of like stands, like the little flying stands.
Right, so you hold onto the station for now. You get to put it down later. We alternate putting down asteroids to like create a battlefield.
Yes, so classic sort of alternating terrain.
Exactly. So you go first as the second player.
Okay.
So you choose an asteroid or a debris field. And what these do is if you try to shoot through them, you get reduced firepower. And if you land on them, you take damage. And then finally, you get to place the station down. Because effectively, you're defending, as the second player, it's your station that you're defending from me.
Okay. Well, I think it makes it the most exciting.
Now, what you can do is it has to be more than one away from everything else.
Yep.
And has to be beyond distance 5 from your table edge. This table is actually slightly too big.
Yeah.
So the first 6 inches of the table are not technically on the table.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep it there.
Seems fair because it's your station.
It's my station. Get out of my station.
So at the end of each turn, we're going to play 6 turns. And at the end of each one, we see who's got the most ships within distance 1. And then we add up the command value of those ships. And whoever has the highest total command value
is controlling it.
Okay. So a big ship is controlling it more than a small ship.
Got
Because most small ships have command value 1 and the big ones have 3. And then the person who controls it gets a victory token, which are worth 20 points each at the end. But we also get points for killing stuff. Okay, I think that's the introductions out of the way. So as the first player, I deploy the first ship.
Do you deploy ship by ship? Because there's one thing we didn't do. So it's ship, you deploy ship, I deploy ship, you deploy ship. Okay, got ya. We've semi-worked out our deployment zones.
Unsubtle. So yeah, these red markers I've put down to show where we can deploy our ships. There we go. I'm going to be very unsubtle and drive my slow, heavy cruiser, the Victory Class Star Destroyer, straight at the station.
Yep.
And he's going down at speed 2, which is the fastest speed he can go.
Okay. I think I am going to put my big ship as well. And I'm going to set his initial speed to a whopping 2. Now, do asteroids count for collisions and stuff as well? Like if you move through them, or if you
only if you end your move on them.
So if you move through them, you're fine.
Yeah, because that sort of represents you can go under or over them, or generally avoid them somehow.
Okay.
All right, Han Solo leading the X-Wings.
Oh yeah, he's going in there.
Nice.
All right, let's take this thing and go home. God, look at that swarm.
The swarm
Deadly
is ready.
swarm. Now, I did fight now. They've got crazy good rules when they're all grouped up, and Hal Runner makes them even scarier. So I'm genuinely bit worried about those boys.
Yeah, your Nebulombi frigate's got pretty strong like anti-squadron
stuff.
Lasers.
That's what I'm thinking.
So that's the downside of me blobbing up, is when you like do a flak barrage from a capital ship, you hit everything in the area. So I don't want to bunch up near that guy.
Right, hang on, wrong series.
I'm going to pop the big boy, the Imperial Star Destroyer.
That's the boy I'm scared of.
Out on this side.
Well, especially because then you want to turn him in and get that big front arc, don't you, really?
Yeah, should I go I can't decide. If I should go here, munch your Corvette, take the station. Or if I just want to go head-to-head with your big ship.
The big ship. It would make more sense to just munch away. Even though it's a small ship and doesn't pose a huge threat, I guess it makes more sense to just kind of chalk it up, doesn't it? But then this is also probably one of the faster ones I've got, so I'm hoping I can nip away.
Okay, I'm going to put him at full speed, which is 3.
Full speed!
Okay, the fleet's for a raid.
Yeah. I'm going for a very boxed-in defensive wargaming idea.
Yeah, look after the
pickle. But also trying to make sure that like all my upgrades, because all my upgrades are within range of things. So that's one thing I messed up in the tutorial, is having like ships out of range for squadron orders and stuff like that. And I know that they can be a big factor. So okay,
cool. Now we select orders for our ships.
God, I'm trying to remember, because you've got to do this in a certain order for these bigger ships, which is always the tricky one.
So the big ships have 3 commanders, which means on turn 1 they'll do the first one, turn 2 the second one, turn 3 the third one. So if something goes wrong and I need to start repairing my big ship, I can give it a repair order, but that repair order won't come up for 3 more turns.
Yeah.
Now, before we start, I just want to explain what our admirals are doing. So my fleet, led by Grand Moff Tarkin, aboard the Star Destroyer. Your fleet, led by Admiral Akbar. He's on the Mon Cal cruiser. So admirals are very special because they generally affect every ship in your fleet and have a big game effect. So my guy, Grand Moff Tarkin, at the start of the turn, I can choose one of the 4 orders, and give all of my ships a token matching that order. So they can all get better at navigating, or they can all get better at shooting. Super flexible.
And the tokens, we mentioned this in the tutorial, the tokens aren't necessarily as good as the orders on the command dial, but the fact that he can basically give them all a free one in addition to whatever their command dial is.
Makes them all very flexible. I can make them all better at one thing every time.
It's that kind of idea of like coordinating the fleets, which Tarkin kind of was doing, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a brutal administrator. Fear his
making sure that paperwork is done.
Powers.
Yeah.
Well, I think mainly it's everyone's scared and doesn't want to mess up when he's around.
Yeah.
And what does your old Akbar do?
Admiral Akbar is, before any friendly ship's attack step, I can choose to attack from only its left and right, or port and starboard zones that round. If it does, though, I get to add 2 red dice to its attack pool for each attack. So
it's pretty beefy, because generally you're not rolling more than 3 or 4 dice anyway.
Exactly. And red dice are longest range as well, so it kind of plays into this idea that the Rebellion ships can shoot further, but then perhaps a little less firepower necessarily, or less accurate.
Your guys are generally a bit more manoeuvrable and a bit better at long range. My guys are a bit tougher and a bit better at short range. So there's 2 ways to play Akbar. One is to sort of skirt away at long range and just pelt them with long range dice. The other alternative is to get in there and shoot both broadsides, potentially at the same target if you can line it up perfectly.
If you can get it up, if you can get it in the right way.
But much more likely, you give you get in between 2 ships and you give them both barrels.
Yeah.
Now, risky play.
So, but that wouldn't work for anti-flak, so you don't get to add any dice to the anti-flak stuff.
Only when shooting ships.
Only when shooting other capital ships, okay. Okay.
Cool. Right. So we'll get rid of these little red tokens because deployment's done.
Deployment's done.
We'll go to turn one.
You are taking turn 1.
Turn 1. So this alternates back and forth. I'll move a ship, you move a ship. I'll move a ship, you move a ship. Once all the ships are done, we'll move on to the squadrons. Oh, this is quite a cool scenario already, isn't it? Like this is like some kind of rebel.
I like the fact that it's
outpost.
inside the asteroid base. So I like to think this is like a secret weapons dump that I've hidden in the asteroid belt.
So this is where all your fuel and ammo is kept to support your
Which is why
antics.
all these ships and Han was there because he's obviously just dropped off
smuggling
loads of stuff.
it in.
He's been smuggling it in. That's why he's there.
Layers on the Corvette.
Yep.
Diplomating about.
Just trying to get away from Han, let's be honest. Filthy nerf herder.
And Vader and Tarkin. Well, it's a bit weird that Tarkin's still alive.
It's fine. This is, it's
fine.
Sure. It's a clone. They cloned Moff Tarkin.
So yeah, Tarkin and Vader are just like going to crush this little rebel base.
That Vader, I'm so worried about it.
Maybe this is set before A New Hope.
Could be. Yeah, this is before
Han's just
Leia
doing a
and
job,
Han's met.
smuggling.
Yeah, he doesn't even know.
They haven't met each other.
They haven't met each other.
Oh,
this is where
that's so good.
But they'll die before they get a chance to in this alternate Imperial history.
Oh man! So we don't even want to destroy the station. We want because it's probably full of information on where your other bases are.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, have trade routes to where we've been.
Where have you been before? Where are you up to?
Where are we sending stuff? Yeah.
It's a trap! It's a trap! Wait for an ambush! Get that smuggler over here!
It's my turn. I may fire when ready. So Tarkin's rule: give everyone a token. I'm going to give everyone a navigate token,
which allows you to change all the speed.
I can change, because that's it. You can't change your speed without navigate orders. So everyone's just going to give each one of my ships a navigate token from Tarkin, so they can adjust my speed as the game goes on.
Yeah.
And the first ship I'm going to move is my Victory class. It's like kind of like a cruiser. It's pretty heavy. It's navigating.
Yeah, makes sense. You get that extra click on the dial.
Get a bit more maneuverability with this turning stick. But to be honest, I'm not really going to use it. I'm just going to pound straight forwards to full speed ahead for the objective.
Speed.
Right, that's it. Oh, well, I should have said I could shoot first.
Yes.
But we're way out of range, so
currently quite far out of range.
Okay, that's it. It's your turn.
So, my turn, I think I'm going to activate because we know we're not going to really be able to shoot, so it's more about the positioning right now. So we'll start on the easy stuff for me. I'm going to activate the Nebulon, who is navigating. I'm actually probably just going to take the token for the time being.
So the way this works is you can do your order. In this case, he could have navigated to change his speed and maneuverability, but he wanted to stay at his speed, so he's banking the token, which is like a worse version of the order, but he can use it on another turn. He's prepping the engine crews.
Just a little bit like this. Obviously not in range. That's that one done.
Right, my Raider has got his eyes on your...
I think this is this side of the table is a sort of set battle.
Bit of a sideshow, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
He's navigating, and he's going speed 4. He's cranking up the engines.
Oh my god, he's so quick!
Full speed. But I don't know if he wants to go speed 4, because he doesn't really want to get shot.
Go speed 4. There's no blue dice on my front arc.
You've got lots of red dice. So the Nebulon's got quite a beefy front. I need to get into his side, where he's a squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to slow him down. Use his navigate order to slow down to speed 3.
Yep. Now, the tokens persist, but you can't have more than one of the same token.
That's right. And also,
but you could have multiple tokens of different orders.
But you cannot have more tokens than your command rating.
Ah, nice.
So large ships can have multiple tokens, small ships not so many.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to slow down to 3, and I'm going to side shift a bit to keep us at range for now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have got into your long range.
Yeah, which is what I kind of want to try and do. Okay. Right, my turn. I'm going to do the big command cruiser now, I think. So I think this is going to be one of my trickiest moves. So that was a navigate token as well. If you can pass me my wiggly stick. I'm not sure if I'm going to take the token just yet, because he can only go at speed 2.
But technically,
but he's
not
a big
allowed
boy.
to use those wiggle sticks until you hit your move phase.
Oh, of course, right. So
you can pre-measure with the range sticks, but not with the movement sticks.
Yeah. So
not sure why.
It was more about the angle. So I'm not going to shoot at anything. In terms of the token, I can choose to use that. Do I have to take the token now or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you start planning your move, you have to decide if you're going to use the navigate this turn or later.
Well, we won't take the token. I'm gonna.
You're gonna use it for extra turns.
No, I will take the token. That's what I meant. I will take the token. Okay. So now I'm not going to click it in because you've told me that that is a tournament faux pas. If I click him in,
once you clicked it in, that's the move you're making.
So I'm starting to get that angle
coming in.
Yeah, I just want to start turning him so I can get the big broadsides
in.
Shimmy Han back.
Okay, so first turn, really just about
It's that
maneuvering into
gentle kind of
position.
like the slow, in the movie when the ships all start swarming out and then the big capital ships are turning.
My little guy is going to navigate the carriers. He wants to pick on that Nebulon too. I think he's easy prey, but I don't want to get too close to the broadside of the mega cruiser. I'm going to speed up to speed 3. My navigate order. I'm going for this move, so I'm adding in an extra click
Because you're spending your navigation.
I'm using a
command.
navigation order to do.
And he's going
turning.
speed 3.
Yes, so he's going to overlap this TIE bomber.
So I get to place
So
that.
as the penalty for me overlapping my own fighters is you then get to place it anywhere that's touching my ship. So it's only,
But these guys get to activate at the very end, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's no point. I was thinking if I could put him here, I could then potentially shoot at them, but I don't think that's going to be particularly valuable.
going to shove him back a bit.
I'm just going to shove him back so he's got to move a little bit further.
Cool.
We will just move the transport because, they are going speed 1. Mm-hmm. They have a squadron command.
Okay.
But I was going to take... Now, explain to me what the squadron command token does.
So normally when you do a squadron command order,
you
can activate as many squadrons as your card says you can, which is 2 for the transport.
2 for the transport.
Token, if you have a token, you can activate 1 extra than you would normally be allowed.
Okay.
So a token on its own will let you activate 1 squadron.
Yep.
A token in conjunction with an order next turn
Could
will
allow
be
me
3.
to activate 3. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take that because I don't need to activate
So he's prepping his squadron bays and targeting data.
And, like sending out the messages and stuff like that.
Yeah, coordinating squadrons.
And then he is just going to have a very slow pitch forward. Just going to go a little diddy 1. Kind of want to keep him a little bit protected because he has no guns, but his main thing is China.
He does have a little bit of anti-fighter guns.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
So he's got like little Millennium Falcon style quad laser turrets.
Yeah, quad laser turrets, which could be quite good against the big swarm coming in. So,
but he can't hurt ships. Also, he can't ram. Well, he can ram, but he does no damage when he rams.
Really?
He hurts himself.
Yeah.
Same with my transports. They're not heavy enough to deal damage to the enemy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that in Rogue One when they're starting to disengage? They've got the plans. They're about to go. Vader's Star Destroyer turns up, and those medium transports just crumple into the front of it. And
because against something like this, these are nothing.
Well, this is a combat ship with reinforced bulkheads and stuff.
Exactly.
That's literally like driving your...
it's like a yacht.
It's like driving like a Ford Focus into a tank. It's going to end real bad. So now I've got to do my Star Destroyer because everything else is done. He is navigating.
Yep, and he's going...
I always like to navigate on the first turn.
Yeah,
it gives you so many more options to get into the position you want for the following
it makes
turns.
sense. Especially because you know that you've got the token, you get it for free off Tarkin. Like, I took navigate because I was like, okay, I'll take the tokens because then the next few turns are probably where I'm going to want to adjust my speed and things like that.
Okay, I've messed up a little bit. I thought I could get past this debris field.
But you can't.
But I can't. I'm going to hit it.
Ha!
I thought I could do a handbrake turn and slide it and just be like here.
Just clip it on the very
I misjudged
far edge.
it, so I'm going to overlap it. In which case I may as well overlap it.
Tarkin, terrible driver.
To line me up for a better turn 2. Right, so debris fields.
You don't stop moving, but I'm guessing...
But you take, you lose 2 shields from a hull zone of your choice.
Okay.
When you hit. Asteroids are different. If you hit an asteroid, you take a face-up hull damage.
Okay. So a critical hit, basically.
So critical hull damage from asteroids and just 2 shield damage from a debris field. So I'm going to choose to take it here on my left-hand side. Angle the deflectors.
And
that's space debris. I'm just going to take off my shields.
Yeah.
Then that's me done. So that's your last ship.
So, which is my Corvette.
Corvette with
Leia. Which is a navigate. They are going speed 3. So I made these guys go pretty nippy. Because I had the idea of trying to get some early points off that base.
Yeah, you definitely want, because remember, to get points from the base, you have to be within 1. So at the moment, no one's within 1. It's a neutral base.
It is a neutral base. However, putting myself there, I will get obliterated by that Star Destroyer.
Well, the Star Destroyer is very powerful front firepower.
Yes.
But most of its dice are short-ranged. I've taken the short-ranged missile destroyer instead of the long-range lasery one.
Yeah, just wondering if it's easier for me to, because even then it's still got some reds and blues, and I think if I move the Corvette up to here, we'll be talking about I can probably just stay out of its short range, so I'd only be taking, 3 red dice? Which on my front's not too bad.
And you have evade tokens, which are effective at long range.
Yes, that's true.
You're a nippy
With
ship.
the Corvette, yes, that's not a bad shout. So I will spend my command dial. I'm not going to take a token. I think I only want to go 2. So I'm going to lower my speed down to 2. And then I'm just going to my shields are actually not too bad on my side as well.
Cool.
Though,
Well, You've made the move now.
I've not clipped it in though. I did this.
Yeah, you're not really meant to pick the ship up till you're doing the move.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to take it again,
No, Ben. No, we're going to play this fair and legit.
So basically, the rules are:
if you pick up the ship,
you can't pick up the ship until you've clicked it in, and once you've clicked it in, you're committed to that move.
I'm committed to that move. I'm done.
So that's the end of the ship phase.
That's the end of the ship phase. So
now it's time for the squadrons. So I moved the first squadrons. I moved 2, and then you moved 2. That's how it works. So I'm going to bring up these bombers.
Red 5 standing by. Simply Red standing by. Still one of my favourite Star Wars jokes. It's so dumb. Now the squadron command is only up to range 2, right?
It's medium range.
Medium range. So
it's like 2/3 of this stick roughly is how close your squadrons have to be. So that's what I was measuring there.
Yeah.
But this Star Destroyer can
still
activate those.
Activate.
Yeah, if you take a squadron command on a capital ship, you can activate those squadrons during the ship phase rather than waiting until the squadron phase.
Now, what's the anti-squadron stuff on your big boy?
It's 1 black and 1 blue.
Okay.
Which means like a short range it rolls a black and a blue, and a medium it rolls just a blue. But remember, it doesn't have any gunnery upgrades, so if it's firing anti-squadron, it can't. Like if you're in my front, I then have to choose whether I'm going to shoot my front at the squadrons or at a ship. I can't do both. Whereas moving into my side, it would be less good because I can shoot my ship with my front and can shoot out the side.
So what I think I'm going to do here is, what are my Y-wings? My Y-wings go at 3. So we're going to move...
I think all your ships move 3 actually, for convenience.
Y-wings, get some damage on that.
Oh, they're coming in.
Yeah, so get some damage on that big ship. Oh, yes.
Slide your sliders over so we know they're done this turn. Yeah, Y-wings can over time really
That's the hope. I'm hoping that before they get swarmed by fighters, we can get in and try and do some damage.
I'll bring my squadrons up a bit. So the Hawk is a support ship that helps the bombers attack the target.
That's why he's keeping as close as he can. And he's also, his squad fighting is not too bad. 2 blue dice. It's okay.
You might remember the Hawk from Dark Forces.
Kar-Katarn, the Moldy Crow.
Yeah. I really like those games. I'm going to bring these 2 fighters over here.
Yep. Yeah, I was saying to you earlier, the Kar-Katarn games I got introduced to through Outcast, because that was the first one I played. I never really had a PC when I was younger.
Third one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
there was Dark Forces, which was 2. Like Doom's era, wasn't proper 3D. Dark Forces 2 was the 3D one with lightsabers.
Yep. And then
Jedi Knight, it was called. Then Jedi Outcast, I think, was the 3rd one.
That was where he gives up his Jedi powers, and then he goes back to the Valley of the Jedi, gets them back, and you have to learn them all again, and all that stuff. And then there was the Jedi Academy, which was the
4th one.
Yeah, the 4th one.
And you weren't Kar-Katarn anymore.
You were playing like the Padawan, basically. You made your own as like a character creation thing. Because I remember playing.
Those games were so good.
They were so good, and I remember specifically like. Jedi Outcast was the first time I remember, because there was a great multiplayer on it as well.
Yeah.
And God, that got so good. Like when you had a proper lightsaber fight and jumping around like Jedis, it was amazing.
Oh man, I used to play Dark Forces 2 online multiplayer because the lightsaber combat was really intense. And that was back in the day of like 56k modems. So you had to remember how to use your ping to you had to compensate, you had to give people lead for how high their ping was.
Yeah.
Because 300 ping was pretty standard back on 56k modems. And once you got good at that, people always thought you were hacking.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I've shot you and you haven't taken damage. You're like, well, it looks like you've shot me, but remember, we've all got 300 ping, so you have to really give it some lead. Man, they haven't actually made better lightsaber combat since Jedi Outcast. Like all the Star Wars games generally since Jedi Outcast, using a lightsaber has felt like you're hitting someone with a glowing baseball bat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've been able to block it, and you have to hit them like 6 or 7 times before
to break the guard and stuff. Yeah.
Really unsatisfying.
Also, with the way that games are so much better now with combat systems as well. I'd love to see some really good ways of using force combos, like being able to pull people in and
imagine a mod for something like For Honor or like a proper fighting game like Mountain Blade or For Honor or Chivalry or something like that. But a Star Wars mod,
basically Star Wars Chivalry, done really well. I'd play that so much.
The archers could be like stormtroopers.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's what Battlefront really should have been in a way.
Yeah, it was just too arcadey,
if you wanted to do proper squad-based combat with meaty sort of combat abilities and stuff like that, and they could really delve into the stuff. Yeah, it'd be so good. Right, I think I'm done.
Okay,
I feel like I'm making terrible mistakes, but
we've both been quite conservative with the fighters. You've committed your bomber wing.
Yes.
And your fighters are sort of pairing up against my fighters, but no one's engaged yet.
Yep.
It's looking kind of bad for your Mon Calamari cruiser with the 2 guys bearing down. And we'll have to see if the Nebulon can face off against the bombers and the radar.
Probably not.
So you gain a victory token
Yes, because
for
I've got
controlling the
some points.
station for a turn. And then we move into round 2.